We are going to be solving another interesting question on current divider rule, and you can see the circuit above. We are having resistor R and 10 ohms, and another resistor R here, 1 ohms, and this one is 2 ohms, and then we have a voltage here, and here we are having current I entering the whole circuit. All right, so we are asked to determine the value of I for the what, for the circuit as shown above, and given that V is equals to 2 volts, that is the volt here is what, is 2 volt. The voltage across 2 ohms is what, is 2 volts. All right, so how do we go about this? The first thing you are going to notice here is this. You have to note carefully that this current I, when it's coming short circuit here, is going to, when it gets to this node, is going to get splitted. It's going to enter resistor R, and it's going to enter through this place. So let's call this I1. All right, so the 2 ampere that enter here, let's call it I2. All right, so and I1, when I1 get here again, is going to get splitted. So let's call this I3, and let's call this I4. All right, now if you look at this critically well, you know that this I3, when it's coming, is going to pass through this 10 ohms, and it's also going to pass through these 2 ohms, because these 2 ohms and these 10 ohms, they are in what? They are in series. And don't forget, from our introduction class, when we derive current divider rule and voltage divider rule, and when we also talk about series series connection of resistors and parallel connection of resistors, I have told us that when resistors are in series, the same current will flow through them. All right, so now that we know the current that is entering through these 10 ohms and these 2 ohms, now we can find that current because we already know the voltage across 2 ohms. So from Ohm's law, we know that V is equals to what? IR. All right, now, but the I that I want to find is going to be what? I3, because it is I3 that is flowing through 2 ohms. So let's put I3 here. So we know that volt is given to us to be what? 2. And here is going to be I3 multiplied by the resistor. The resistor here is what? 2. So if we make I3 the subject, I3 will be equals to 2 divided by 2, which is going to be equals to what? 1 ampere. So it shows that I3 is equals to 1 ampere. All right, now again, you are going to note something critically here. You are going to note that here we are having these 2 ohms and these 10 ohms to be in series. We can combine the effect of these 2 ohms and these 10 ohms together, because we know when 2 resistors are in series, we can add them together. So if we add them together, we know that 10 ohms and 2 ohms are in series. All right, so now let's call their effect to be RT1. So the equivalent resistance here is going to be 10 plus what? Plus 2, which is equals to what? 12 ohms. It's going to give us 12 ohms. All right, so now that we have 12 ohms, we can decide to clean this 10 ohms here. At least we can decide that we don't have anything here again, and then we can replace what we have here with what? 12 ohms. Is that clear? Or you can redraw the circuit. You can redraw the circuit by removing this, but you just replace these 2 ohms with what? With 12. All right, so you will now see clearly that 12 ohms will now be in parallel with what? With 1 ohms. But don't forget that we've already calculated our what? Our I3, right? Now, the reason for this is because we are heading somewhere. We want to find the value of our what? I1, because I1 is the current that is entering, that is the total current that is entering this branch. Now, is that clear? So now, and we know that if for us to do that, we know that I3 is also the current that is passing through this 12 volt that we just calculate. So if we find I3 now, I3 using current divider rule will be equals to what? Will be equals to 1 all over what? 1 plus what? 1 plus, they are in parallel, 1 plus 12. 1 plus 12 multiplied by what? Multiplied by total current coming in, which is what? I1. So we are going to have this to be what? I1. All right. So now, I hope we understand this. I don't know, because I've already told us earlier that we're supposed to draw this circuit again. Is that clear? So you just need to draw the circuit again. Then you remove these 10 ohms, and you remove everything here completely, and you just replace these 2 ohms with what? With 12, and you are going to understand clearly that 12 ohms will be in parallel, with what? 1 ohms, right? Now, but we know that I3 is the current that is flowing across these 12 ohms. Now that we know that, now, and we can apply current divider rule, right? Now, since we know that it is I3 that is flowing through 12 ohms, so for us to apply current, we are just doing as if we want to find I3, but it is not I3 we want to look for. It is the total current that is entering through this branch. You know, it is I1 that split into what? Into I3 and what? I4. Is that clear? That is why we now say I3 is equals to what? 1 all over what? 1 plus what? 12 multiplied by what? I1. I hope we understand this clearly. All right, so we can make substitution now. I3 is 1. So let's say 1 is equals to 1 all over 13 multiplied by what? I1. So if you cross multiply, 13 multiplied by 1 is 13. Then 1 multiplied by I1 is I1. So it shows that I1 is equals to what? 13 ampere. So our I1 is equals to what? 13 ampere. Mind you, it is not I1 we still want to find. The question says determine the value of what? I. So now how can we determine the value of I? Don't forget, it is I that is flowing, that will flow. So it is I that is flowing. When it gets to this node, it gets splitted into what? I1 and what? I2. So we can apply the Kirchhoff current law that says that the current that is going to enter this node will be equal to the sum of current that is leaving this node. So what are the current that is leaving this node? It is I1 and what? I2. So it shows that applying KCL, that is Kirchhoff current law, don't worry, we are still going to get to a circuit theorem where we are going to discuss Kirchhoff current law, Kirchhoff voltage law, Newton's theorem, Newton's theorems, and all the theorems, superposition theorems, and so on and so on, Thevenin's theorems, and so on and so forth. All right, so applying Kirchhoff law to this node. So let's call this node A. So applying KCL to node A. All right, so it means that I will be equals to what? I1 plus what? Plus I2. All right, so what is I1? We have already calculated the value of I1. I1 is 13. 13 plus I2. What is our I2? All right, what is our I2? We can see that our I2 is what? 2 ohms, 2 ampere. So we are going to have 2 here. So it means that I will be equals to 13 plus 2, which is what? 15 ampere. So the solution to this question is what? 15 ampere. By the way, I hope we understand this. If you still have any question here, you can drop it in the comment section. And peradventure, if today is your first time coming across our content, do well to give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, and let us know where you are watching from. And please don't be stingy with knowledge. Always share our content with your friends from other institutions who might be in need of this. And don't forget that we also have a well-structured materials on circuit theorem and every other courses such as strength of material, machine design, thermodynamics, and so on and so forth. For you to access this material is written by us, well structured, and well simplified. So for you to have access to this material, rush down to our description. You'll see the link to our WhatsApp. You can click on the link and when that will take you directly to our WhatsApp. You can drop your message there, and you can also email us via our email in our description. So thank you. Stay tuned for more important questions.